What mind-blowing but simple facts would satisfy a 4-year-old daughter's daily request for one fact before bedtime? Dogs can tell when you're coming home by how much of your scent is left in the house if you have a daily routine. Most elephants weigh less than a blue whale's tongue. You see how it says most? Because there's actually one elephant that weighs more, and that's your mom. Pineapples used to be so expensive that people would rent them as a centerpiece for their party. Scotland's national animal is a unicorn. A single strand of spaghetti is a spaghetto. Guess he grew up on the bad side of the pasta box. At birth, a baby panda is smaller than a mouse. Bees tell their friends about good nearby flowers by dancing. Kangaroos can't walk backwards. Neither can emus, which is why they're featured on Australian coat of arms, as it symbolizes our country always moving forward. In Switzerland, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig. If you have any, you have to have at least 2. They get lonely. Otters have skin pockets for their favorite rocks. And by the way, the reason that otters are so playful is because they're such efficient killing machines that they have extra time to spend on things besides hunting. But that's a much less 4-year-old friendly fact. There's an island in Japan populated only by fluffy bunnies. When a bee is chosen to be the new queen, they're given a special type of honey that completely changes their bodies. Kinda like how a Pokemon evolves. Super simplified, but it's still pretty cool to think about. I call it the royal jelly. Interestingly, the polar bear's coat has no white pigment. In fact, a polar bear's skin is black and its hairs are hollow. Butterflies smell with their feet. And that's funny because my feet smell too. What is not a fun fact? In Australia, there is a plant called the Gimpy Gimpy with such a severe sting that horses who brush against it throw themselves off cliffs because they'd rather die than continue to experience the pain. If I remember correctly, it's because of the toxin in the needle-like fibers in the plant, and the pain lasts for weeks, months, or years. People beg for amputations, suicides, comas, narcotics, the works. It is not a fun plant. Gimpy Gimpy, my ex just found herself a new nickname. Sloths only have enough energy for their weekly toilet trip to the jungle floor. If the baby falls from their underside in the trees onto the floor, they choose to preserve their energy and leave it to be eaten. Luckily, this doesn't happen much because the natural resting rate of sloths is with the hands clamped closed, and they have to use force to open them. Sort of like air brakes on a semi-truck versus a brake on a car. Sloths are actually too lazy to open their hands to get dropped. If a hamster gets too stressed, it will eat its kids. This honestly sounds like a fun memory from someone's traumatic childhood. Horses can't throw up, so if they eat anything bad or get a bad gas bubble, they just lay down and die. Supposedly millions of years of evolution and they still can't vomit? Checkmate, atheists. Urine was used for teeth whitening and bleaching of clothes in ancient Rome. Yes, they rinsed their mouth with human and animal urine. The threat of a deadly bird flu spreading to humans is always there. It just takes a little bit of negligence in screening chickens for this to happen. Despite being the largest animal, blue whales do not have large assholes. They defecate with an anus the size of a grapefruit. What is that one fact you know that always makes people respond, and why the f do you know that? You should always use 2 hands to pick up a severed human head. Human heads weigh about as much as a standard-sized bowling ball, but unlike bowling balls, they are not perfectly spherical. Therefore, gravity is not evenly distributed across the entire head, so they have a tendency to topple out of your hand if you try to hold them with just one. And nobody wants to be the person who drops a severed head. Great! I'll keep this in mind next time I'm on severed head collection duty. Half of all bank robberies take place on Friday. The terminal velocity of an ant is about 3.9 miles per hour. They can't be harmed by falling because they can't fall fast enough to hurt themselves. For the same fall distance, a mouse walks away, a human breaks every bone, and a horse splashes. Alcoholics decompose faster when they die. Source was a crime scene cleaner. A nursing sperm whale's milk comes out in the consistency of cottage cheese so the calf can eat it in the water. Ugh. Know those fake roses that come inside a glass tube at gas stations? They are not pretty decorations. They are crack pipes.